Welcome to councillors, members of the public, and the staff. The time being 6:30, I declare the ordinary council meeting of 25th of February 2025 open. I know that tonight I will chair the meeting in the absence of our Mayor, Councillor John Paul Baladi. He was called away to a sudden emergency. I note that the persons in the gallery are advised that under the Local Government Act 1993, a person may not tape record the proceeding of a meeting of a council or committee without the authority of the council or committee. Tape record include a video camera and an electronic device capable of recording speech. Mobile phones must be turned off so as not to disrupt the meeting. Anyone, including councillors, found using a mobile phone will be asked to leave the meeting immediately and for the duration of the meeting. An audio recording of this meeting will be taken for taken purposes as authorized by the Local Government Act 1993. This meeting is live streamed on Council's website to allow the community to follow Council's debates and decisions without the need to attend the meeting in person. Members of the public attending or speaking at the meeting agrees to have their image, voice, and personal information, including name and address, recorded and publicly broadcast. Strathfield Council does not accept liability for any defamatory remarks or inappropriate comments that are made during a meeting. Any part of the meeting that is held in closed section will not be streamed. Councillors and members of the gallery, please note that the microphone for streaming purposes is sensitive and will record all sounds in the room. The Mayor Diary from December 2024, including up to February 2025, and the expenses claimed by all councillors has been tabled for your information as per Resolution 147/19. Councillors, in accordance with the mandatory provisions of the Model Code of Conduct, I remind councillors of the obligation that you will faithfully and impartially carry out the functions, powers, authorities, and the discretions vested under the Local Government Act 1993 or any other act to the best of your ability and judgment. I would now like to ask everyone who is able to stand for the moment of the reflection. We pray that our deliberations today will be objective and the decisions are impartial and made for the benefit of the whole community. Let's also begin by acknowledgement of the Wango people, the traditional custodians of this land on which this meeting is being held. We pay respect to the elders, past, present, and emerging. Thank you. Now you can all resume your seats. We have one apology for tonight's meeting. Councillor John Paul Baladi is an apology for this meeting. We have received a request for a leave of absence from Councillor Northworthy for the ordinary meeting of 29th April 2025. Thank you. His request is to enable him to have a leave of absence due to personal matters. In line with Council's code of meeting practice, we are required at this meeting to consider the request from our Councillor Rory Northworthy. Can I have a mover?
I'd like to move myself on it.
Raymond, seconded by Councillor Reddy. Oh, you want to? Okay. Councillor Northworthy want to be the mover. Okay, seconded by the Councillor Reddy. Councillor, does anyone wish to speak for or against the motion? I now put the motion to vote. All those in favor, please raise your hand. I declare the motion carried. Unanimous. There are no applications for councillors to attend via audio-visual link. Does any councillor wish to make any disclosure of interest? I request that each councillor with a conflict stand and clearly state the item, the nature of the conflict, and what action they will take. Councillors, in reading out your conflicts, please follow the template provided. There is no conflict of interest today. Does anyone have an acknowledgement to make? Councillor Kim.
I'd like to acknowledge the National Servicemen's Day event, which was held at Lidcombe Remembrance Park on 16th February 2025. A special thanks also to Cumberland RSL Sub-Branch President, Mr. Matt Jones, and his fellow veterans for their contributions and dedication during the war. Thank you.
Any other acknowledgement? Councillor Northworthy.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. It was ironically on the same day, on the 16th February, myself and Councillor Reddy attended the Saish, Pongal, Makar, Sanakari and Lori celebration, and special thanks to the President of Saish, Raj Datta, for organising and bringing our community together.
Thank you. Any other acknowledgement? Okay, I have a few acknowledgements. Firstly, I would like to take a moment to acknowledge the hard work and achievements of the graduating students of St. Patrick College. This is a significant milestone, and I commend their dedication, perseverance, and commitment to learning. St. Patrick's College has a proud tradition and economic excellence and fostering future leaders who will contribute positively to our community. In addition, I would like to acknowledge the upcoming International Women's Day. This day serves as an important reminder of the contributions, achievements, and the resilience of women in all aspects of society. Time to celebrate progress, reflect on challenges, and continue working towards a future of equality and opportunity for all. Lastly, I want to recognize the vibrant celebration of the Chinese New Year or Lunar New Year in our community. Events such those at Homebush West Shopping Center, our local libraries with the calligraphy and the other celebrations. And also the Cinemarket showcase the rich culture diversity that makes Strathfield such a special place. These celebrations bring people together, foster cultural appreciation, and strengthen our sense of community. Thank you. Yes.
Sorry, I do have another one, Mr. Chair. I'd like to acknowledge the grant provided to us and secured by the Labor Federal Member for Reid, Sally Situ. The grant will go towards the maintenance and upkeep of Mason Park wetlands. $1.8 million, and assist in the migratory birds that use that wetlands for half the year before they fly up to parts of East Asia.
Thank you. Councillors, now we need to confirm minutes from the ordinary council meeting at 10th December 2024. Okay, moved by Councillor Reddy and second by Councillor Pensabini. Councillors, does anyone wish to speak for or against the motion? I now put the motion to the vote. All those in favour, please raise your hand. Now I declare the motion carried, unanimous. There is no narrow minutes this evening. In accordance with Section 13 of the Council's Code of Meeting Practice, items can be dealt with by the exception, and that they can be adopted as recommended by a single motion. I note the following items cannot be dealt with by exception. It's CCS 10 at page 315. Is 2025 National General Assembly Conference delegates and motions. Now I go through all the items. Notice of motion 10.1.
Please, Mr. Chair.
Councillor Connor Block. Sorry?
Take that out, please.
You take it out, okay. 10.2, outdoor dining permits by Councillor Bremo. Good, okay. 10.3, litter in the local area. Councillor Northworthy. You want to take it out? 10.4, cessation of non-essential future council events. Councillor Bremo.
Can we take that out, please?
Take it out. 10.5, consideration of assessment of new gaming and licensed menus. Councillor Blackmore. 10.6, marketplace trading. Councillor Northworthy. Cessation timeframe of the Strathfield connector bus.
Can we take that out, please?
Sorry?
Can we take that out, please?
Take it out. Okay. Establishment of the Strathfield Community and Business Excellency Awards. Councillor Chai.
Can we take that out, please?
Council response to safeguard our community. Councillor Chai.
Good.
Dwelling mix.
Take that one out.
You want to take it out? 10.8?
10.9.
Oh, 10.9, okay. Okay. 10.10 is the dwelling mix. Councillor Northworthy.
Fine.
You can do it if you want. It only takes one person.
Okay, now we go to the GMU1, Community Strategy Plan Review.
Good.
Good, okay. GMU2, Pictorial History of Strathfield District Book.
Good.
GMU3, Delivery Program 6 months Progress Report, July to December.
Yeah.
GMU4, Sister City Visit, to Kapyeong, South Korea.
Take that out, please.
GMU 5, Strathfield Council Events Committee. Okay. GMU 6, Strathfield Council 140 years anniversary celebrations.
Fine.
CCS1, Investment Report, December 2024 and January 2025. Councillor Workshop, 17th of December 2024. CCS3, Statistics on calls, complaints, queries, suggestions, etc. received by the Council Service Desk.
That's okay.
CCS4, Councillor Workshop on 11th of February 2025. CCS5, Current Status of Council Resolutions. CCS6, Conclusion of Mayoral Minutes. 7.
Can we take that one out?
Six.
Okay, CCS7, Quarterly Budget Review Statement for the quarter ended 31st of December.
Can we take that out, please?
Tender CCS8, tenders advertised and awarded December 2024 and January 2025.
Yep, that's good.
CCS9, reforms to the model of code meeting practice, submission due 28th February 2025.
Yep, that's good.
CCS10 is
We have to take that out.
let's take out. That's it. Thank you. Okay, now we go to the PE1, building compliance fees and charges post exhibition. PE2, draft swimming pool barrier inspection program and policy. PE3, draft planning proposal, additional and diverse housing planning proposal, implementation of medium density housing strategy.
I think we're taking that out, Mr. Chair.
PE3 out? Okay. Okay, now PE4, alterations to fees and charges, management of animals.
Good.
Okay, thank you. Okay, now we go into the second part is EO1, draft parklet policy, community feedback. EO2, installation of shade sails and the Tavistock reserve. EO3, feasibility of establishing a dog leash area near Long Street.
Pull this one.
Sorry?
Take that out.
Okay. Okay, EO4, draft plaques, memorials, and the status policy.
We'll take that out. Don't know why he's got an issue with it, but anyway.
EO5,
Take that out, please.
the second one, is it?
EO5.
Now, EO6 is bus shelter at Pemberton Street, south of Arthur Street. EO7, feasibility study of a multi-story parking facility in Strathfield Town Centre. Okay, last one is 12.1, report from the Traffic Committee meeting on 17th December 2024. 12.2, report from Traffic Committee meeting on 18th February 2025. Okay, last one is a confidential item, EO8, land and policy strategy.
Yeah, good.
No, we're gonna talk on that.
Okay. Okay, I move that the items mentioned be dealt with by exception. Can I have a seconder? Councillor Reddy? I now put the motion to the vote. All those in favor, please raise your hand. I declare the motion carried, unanimous. Now is the public forum. Today we have 2 speakers registered today to address the meeting. Speakers are reminded that they have 3 minutes to address council on their item of interest with the possible 2 minutes extension if approved by the meeting. Speakers are advised that in accordance with the code of meeting practice, they cannot ask questions of councillors or staff. The councillor, through the chair, may ask questions of the speaker if it is direct, succinct, and without argument. First one, Mr. Peter Dobricevich, has requested to speak in open forum about the local environment plan, tree removal, and public liability.
Okay. Thank you. My wife owns 34 to 36 Abbotsford Road, Homebush, and the issue here is the tree removal by application of clause 5.10(3)(c) of the local environment plan. While the subject has been well ventilated amongst you for a couple of weeks, the General Counsel and Planning Manager are meeting with me tomorrow to attempt a resolution without any litigation. However, there is clearly a broader governance issue here. Council officers are creating law rather than applying the LEP, the DCP or case law. The undisputed facts in this matter is the clause allows for removal of a tree in a heritage area without a development consent if the tree is a risk to human life or property. The LEP is silent on how that a request is made when a DA is not necessary. And Council's refusal to allow a tree removal under the clause can be subject to a Class 1 merits appeal in the Land Environment Court. On January 13, an oral request was made to remove the tree using the above clause. On January 15, the Council refused the request despite the recognition of the risk the tree presents by quoting officer-created law. If you see the attached email on page 2, you'll see that refusal and the imaginary law, likelihood of failure is imminent. I've yet to find that clause in the DCP or the LEP. Rather than go to the LEC to have a decision reviewed, the tree owner tried to work with council to resolve the matter. A structural engineer was engaged to assess the risk caused by the leaning brick fence, and a Heritage Minor Works application was submitted. In essence, because the tree owner didn't accept the council officer's initial decision, officers want to create costs, increase application fees, unnecessary experts report and professional fees, and waste the residents' time and energy. Obstructions were put in place, such as the imaginary rules a tree fall must be imminent and the work must be an emergency. Put in a DA request, stating incorrectly that the Heritage Minor Works application was not complete, and a reluctance to formally refuse the Heritage Minor Works application. Obviously, the punt by officers is that their own resources and energies will not be wasted because the matter will be dropped by the owner. 2 of you have seen, could I get a 2-minute extension, please? 2 of you have seen the tree and the damage to the property already. Both of you observed the brick fence leaning towards the public footpath. Not only is the excuse the council can't act unless the failure is imminent, an imaginary law created by council staff, but this is also obviously stupid for so many reasons. And that is why the long-standing legislative instrument does not have that qualification. My wife is not the only person in Abbotsford Road who has recently been subjected to clearly nonsensical interpretations of the LEP or unlawful rules and policy regarding trees. Councillors need to act now to ensure that staff apply the actual law. and not what they think the law should be. Happy to take questions.
Thank you. Council will take that into consideration.
Thank you.
Ms. Joy Malvi also has requested to speak in our open forum about 3 items: the need for culturally appropriate education on waste management to increase better waste management. The second one is stray cats and their impact on our community. Third is policy and enforcing no smoking zones. Thank you.
Is that okay? I put my notes, my speech in my phone. Can I use my phone for this section? Thank you. Thank you for having me tonight. As mentioned, I plan to speak on 3 matters this evening. Firstly, to request a culturally appropriate education program to improve compliance within our community with separating the waste and the recycling. The second item was to raise again the issues of stray cats within Homebush West, and lastly, the enforcement of non-smoking zones. It has been advised that even 1 item of rubbish in a truckload of recycling can contaminate the whole load. Assuming this is true, nearly every recycling truck serving my suburb would be diverted to landfill. And with landfill sites within Sydney predicted to be full by 2030, we need to ensure all residents are educated and are on board with the proper separation of waste and recycling items. I have asked residents within my own apartment building why they put rubbish in our recycling bins, and they respond that there's little point separating items, as all waste and recycling in common community areas like at the train station are jumbled together anyway, and there's a collective sense of resignation about what we do as individuals having any impact or importance. I request that an education campaign be created with community engagement and participation to address this, please. We will also need to engage strata management companies and real estates who lease to new tenants moving into our area. If we work together as council and community, we may be able to renew a sense of hope and purpose around the recycling program for our area and see some visible outcomes. Another aspect of this campaign to be renewed may be the need to reinstate the penalties for stratas and for homeowners with contaminated recycling and for the dumping of items on the streets. The second issue, the stray cats in our suburb. For around 20 years, a local woman has fed stray cats on the streets. There is litter left from this activity on several streets as she tosses trays of food under parked cars. There's cat feces on every corner, on fences and grass verges, and causing health concerns for children in our area, local residents. The smell is awful and there's many flies. The cats themselves are unhealthy, underweight and flea-ridden. While some are caught and desexed by volunteers, many aren't, and so they breed and the cycle continues. I request that council step in, please, to manage this issue. We need the person feeding the cats to be ordered to stop, and this order to be enforced, probably with fines. We need council to engage a vendor to capture the cats and manage this situation rather than relying on our citizens and cat rescue organisations. I believe once the cycle is broken, the whole situation can and will calm down. May I have an extension? Yes. Thank you. I'm sure many of the councillors here are already aware of this issue and of this woman, as many complaints and concerns have been noted before. Other residents have now started feeding cats and even the birds now on our street. Are we able to have some signs erected, perhaps by council, banning the feeding of animals on public land, like the verges? And finally, the no smoking zones in Homebush West are flagrantly disregarded, with people leaning up against signs as they light up. I'm wondering if rangers may be empowered to enforce these zones, request that the signs even be updated to include vapes and e-cigarettes, and a regular campaign of rangers, or even a short-term campaign of rangers dispatched to enforce the zones. Thank you.
Thank you, Joy.
Thank you. Yeah. No. now we come back to our motions. The first one is 10.1, right? You will speak?
No, I didn't put it. Matthew did.
Can I have a mover first?
That's my motion.
Okay,
Seconder. Yeah.
seconded by Councillor Reddy.
Look, councillors, this motion here, just about the corner blocks and dual frontage basement controls, there are quite a few examples of properties, newly built properties across our LGA where they have actually put the driveway for their basement. It takes up, as per there's an example in the report which sort of shows what we're trying to fix. Basically what it does, it gets rid of the traditional backyard, and you actually have a backyard which is a turning bay or driveway. So I think this is just to say we are doing planning work within our controls and our DCPs. So it's just sort of to include some sort of work on this, whether it's a restriction on certain lot widths or something along those lines. But it's basically just to try to stop the situation where you have these corner blocks where there is literally the whole backyard is a basement driveway, and this traditional family home losing that backyard is no longer.
Councillors, does anyone else wish to speak for or against the motion?
Can I just ask a question? To Councillor Blackmore, through the chair to Councillor Blackmore, sorry, it's hard for me to get up and down, Councillor.
Can sit.
Is this a report that you're requesting?
There's no report.
No, you just want to change it?
Just noted that in these DCP updates and the
Oh, in the DCP update?
when they're being done at the moment, that this gets considered
Right.
and will be brought back as part of that.
Okay,
So there's no report or anything like that, it's
Yep.
just
Got
putting
it.
it on the record, we want this looked at.
thank you. Fine, thank you.
That's okay.
Picture the car is going through. Through the chair, I would like to ask a question to the Councillor Blackmore. In your picture, it shows that the driveway is coming across the property and going inside. Wouldn't it go straight away to the driveway from the road? Because that's what I've seen everywhere. But yours is I have never seen a basement, entry to the basement going along the property and then going down, because it straight away jumps from the road, they all jump into basement. That's all I've seen in Strathfield. I've never seen this one.
The photograph and the example that is in the report is a property in Strathfield, and there's multiple examples of that. I don't want to name a list of people's houses at the public forum, but there are many examples like that where, as per that picture, there is no backyard. It's basically all just a concrete driveway.
To follow up, I would, instead of saying two-way properties should not have a basement, maybe
That's not
while
saying-
wouldn't that say driveways?
So if I can just quickly, Councillor Reddy. What it's saying is that the corner block of that driveway re-access, where it is going to impact the whole backyard, that's not allowed. So they're going to look at it as the decent.
But if the property is gonna have a straight entry to the back, to the basements, it's okay. But you don't want them to cut a long driveway. Is that right? Am I
I think
understanding it right? If
Councillor
they're,
Reddy, the plan, and I've just bit of a chat here. The plan is that
Had a lovely time.
my intention of this motion and what's to be looked at as part of the DCP controls is that we make some rules, and our planners will make some rules that come back to us with part of those updates, which does it in a way that people don't lose a backyard by having a driveway there, whether it's wherever the access point is. So,
Yes, an amendment?
just to preserve the backyard, and if they have a straight entrance from the road, they should be allowed. And that's what I understand. And if they're cutting off the backyard, that's when we stop it. But we are not limiting them not to have a basement.
Yeah, just
So
to,
this policy doesn't, what you're requesting.
it's not a policy, it's, the policy will come
Yes,
later.
suggestion, so your suggestion doesn't include, doesn't say that they should not have a backyard. They can have it if they follow the
I
rules.
think if we just add a, you know,
You might have
Yeah,
to.
Mr Chair, can I amend?
Are you going to speak for or against?
Yes, so I'd like to suggest an amendment if I may.
thank you.
Okay.
So following the wording, side entry driveway for both, maybe not, I think right at the end, apologies. In situations where it takes up, or it removes, in situation where it removes a significant section of the backyard.
Properties backyard.
Property's backyard, thank you.
I'm happy with that, councillor
Yeah.
Nosworthy. Who's seconded it? Sandy? You happy with that, yeah?
Having a specific to it.
I now put the motion. Okay, as part of the updates, our planning team are currently undertake that in relation to a corner block easement controls consideration is given to the following. Changes required to not allow a rear or side entry driveway for basement parking, corner block, due frontage block. And the adding ones is in situations where it removes a significant section of the property backyard. Okay, if no other questions, I now put the motion to vote. All those in favor, please raise your hand. I declare the motion carried unanimous. Now it's 10.
Did you pull it out?
Now it's 10.3, litter in the local area.
Oh, I wanted to take.
Councillors, excuse me. Order.
Apologies.
Councillors, we have moved, can I have the mover for this motion?
Yeah.
Councillor
Nosworthy, I second.
Second, thank you, Councillor Pensabini. Councillors, would you like to speak for your motion?
Just very quickly, Mr Chair, I want to say thanks, but unfortunately our speaker has now left, Joe Mouldy. As she highlighted, there have been a number of complaints made to councils about litter and mess in Homebush West, so hopefully this can increase our potential to put in place actions to solve such issues that they're suffering in Homebush West.
Thank you.
And I'd like to say something too. I spent a lot of time in Homebush West the last couple of weeks, and the smoking that's going on down there is quite significant. And I think the rangers, if we could just have some of the rangers go down there on a Saturday morning and just check to see what's happening. The signs are there. I mean, they're big enough, and they're on the ground as well. But I think people just are totally ignoring it. They're just smoking in the streets and sitting in that little bench outside the coffee shop. They all sit there and smoke.
Thank you. Any councillors, does anyone else wish to speak as well? I now put the motion to the vote. All those in favor, please raise your hand. I declare the motion carried unanimously. Thank you. Stay here. And what's the next one? 10.4 is cessation of non-essential future events, council events, by Councillor Bremont.
Yes, Matthew.
Yes.
Can I have?
Have a mover?
Councillor mover. Can I have a seconder? Okay. Councillor Pensabini is the seconder. Now you can speak.
Look, obviously this motion is moved as written. There's been a lot of back and forth about some of these events. My feel is the financial situation the council is in and the work that was done in the last term to set forward the council into a good direction. We do need to look at essential services, and some of the events that I think are running are non-essential. I think anything to do that's a civic event, such as an Anzac Day, citizenship ceremony, Remembrance Day, etc., obviously not be touched. But I think and also some of the events such as our events that are in our town centre, which actually help our businesses and bring people to our town centres to spend money in, they should be looked at. But I do think we need to look at budget savings for anything that's not really servicing our residents and not really serving our businesses, who are the ones who pay the rates. So I'll ask you, councillors, to support this. There's a bit of discussion about it. I'm sure there will be a bit of discussion now. This is just saying that this is done until the end of this council term. So it's a budget saving that I think and a step we need to take, and nothing sort of bad untoward towards our event staff. We have really, really good event staff, and they do a really, really good job. But I think there is we do need to have a bit of a foot brake and change the trajectory of where I think we're heading.
Thank you.
Through the chair to Councillor Blackmore. Councillor Blackmore, can you just give me an example of a community event in the last 12 months that wasn't necessary?
Yes. Look, I think probably the Spring Fair
Not
is
necessary.
one of the events that probably doesn't really service the local residents, and the feedback I got about that was...
You mean the Spring Festival, is it?
Yes.
Yeah, and
Our other events in our town centres have got really, really good positive feedback from our residents. Probably this has really been brought on a little bit by the Wolfstock event that's been proposed, which I do think is a non-essential event. We're going to spend $25,000 on to reopen a dog park which was closed because former management, who long time gone, also mismanaged a project adjacent to it, costing the council an extra $1.7 million, which was why the dog park closed. Mm-hmm. So we're now spending another $25,000 to reopen something which we already wasted money on closing down and redoing for the mismanagement many years ago. A good example.
Thank you. Thank you. You've given me 2 examples in the last 12 months, and I think they're the only 2 really that you could give in the last 4 years. What I suggest is that we always trust our council, always trust that they do the reasoning by which they're putting on an event. And I know that our community loves to see council interaction in the community, and no event gets passed unless it comes to council anyway. So we can either vote for one or not vote for one. So I think this really is I won't be supporting this motion.
Councillor Reddy?
I would like to request Councillor Blackmore to amend a little bit, because it's very rigid and it's very confined. It says what we are going to do it and where we are going to do it. Instead of it, if he can be lenient enough to bring us a report of all the events for a year, what council usually does, and in a workshop we can get rid of them.
Okay.
If you are
Already
okay.
spoken.
I believe it's already
Are
up.
you going to
It's asking for a report.
speak for or against it?
Against, technically.
Against. Okay, thank you. Councillor, can you please sit down?
Councillor, I believe it's already requesting a report. So I'm unsure what your changes would be. Obviously, we could reconsider it once the report is received. It allows us to make a decision at that point.
So, I want the report to include all the 1 year's all the events, not only the ones which are going to be held in Homebush Village, because it specifically says where it needs to be. The locations are mentioned. Instead of that, he has mentioned what he wants and what he doesn't want. If all the events are presented to a council workshop, we are going to sit and edit it. pick and choose.
We can't have workshops anymore.
But I will still be supporting it.
Will you, sorry?
She's supporting it. Who is supporting it? Yes.
If you change it,
But there's a report in there.
I'm not supporting it. I think the council does a wonderful job. And there's an events committee. I don't know what you're all carrying on about. There's an events committee.
Councillors, does anyone, any other debate?
Don't vote for my own motion.
Don't vote for your motion.
This,
It's
just,
a waste of time.
Councillor Reddy, this is where the Liberal Party is supposed to say that's typical Labor spending all the council's money.
I'm not political advice. Money.
Councillors, it's not changing time.
Yes.
Okay, now, if no other debate, I now put the motion to vote. All those in favour, please raise your hand. Councillor Blackmore, Councillor Reddy, and Councillor Chai. Against? Councillor Northworthy, Councillor Pensabini, and Councillor Kim. I will use, because now it's 3-3, now I will use my casting vote to,
Vote against it.
so I declare the motion carried. Thank you.
Give me a minute.
Okay. Okay, the 10.7 is cessation timeframe of the Strathfield Connector bus.
I'm, no.
No. I'll move.
We'll move it, I'll second it.
Oh, you seconded it, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
And talk, go for it.
Are you going to speak for that?
I don't need to talk
I
on
need
this.
to-
I move the motion as written.
Can
Only
I
against.
speak on, yes, sorry. I thought we had an exact date for the cessation of the Strathfield connector, and through the chair to the general manager, was there ever a date mentioned on what day it was going to cease?
Through you, Mr. Chair. So the exact date was subject to us going through the process with the industrial relations. So there's certain award requirements that we have to go through in terms of consulting with the staff and providing notification. That process has commenced. We are basically in a position where we now need to just give staff notice. So the cessation that's been nominated in I haven't got it in front of me, the actual, what did it say, April. After this resolution, we would have a final date that it would need to be activated by. So we're in a position where we can notify the staff and give them the sufficient notice that they need.
Through the chair to the general manager, would it be possible to also send letters to the schools to say that it will be ceasing and that the school students won't be able to catch the bus to school? They'll have to walk?
From the mayor.
Yeah, from the mayor.
Council could send,
Thank you.
through you, Mr. Chair, Council could send a letter, I think, and we can provide them with that advice.
Thank you. It'd be great for that day, for that full principle.
Thank you. If no other debates, Councillor Northworthy, are you going to speak again?
Obviously, my views on the bus are already in the book, so to speak, have been said in this chamber before. My confusion comes from, we had a previous agenda requesting the immediate cessation, so I'm unclear why it's been brought back to be voted on again.
It's because of the industrial relations.
No, just yeah.
That's your motion, right?
Yeah.
So this is your last response.
Yeah, look, basically, obviously there was, they've got to do, the council obviously has obligations for industrial relations. I believe the first motion that I put forward had an earlier date on it, which I was advised didn't fall within that category as well. The council, if I'm correct, has advised that this is even longer and more than enough time for the appropriate measures. But we do need to see it.
Okay. If no other debate, I now put the motion to vote. All those in favor, please raise your hand. That's only for the time. Okay, Councillor
Sorry.
Councillor Bramall, Councillor King, and Councillor Reddy, and Councillor Chai. And those against, Councillor Northworthy and Councillor Pensabini.
Councillor Chai, your community is going to really love you.
Okay.
I'll be sending out a letter to
Declared motion carried.
the Avenue, just from you.
Motion carried. Thank you, Councillor.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Okay. Okay, now come to my motion, establishment of the Strathfield Community and Business Excellency Awards. I think at the moment our councils do. I will, personally, I will move the motion. Can I have seconded? Councillor Reddy? Okay. Personally, currently our council duty was shared by the Strathfield Rotary and some maybe Inner West, awards. But I think we should have our own awards to encourage more people to do the business in our community and to recognize their contribution. That's why I raised the motion. Any debate for the motion? Councillor Pensabini?
Yes, in the interest of saving money for the council, I don't think this is a necessary award to be given out. I won't be voting for this.
Okay, you against it? Yeah. Well, Councillor Reddy?
I'll be voting for it. It's a very good encouragement. Anything we do, it doesn't mean it costs a lot. It's not a dog park to cost 25K, so it's gonna be, it's just a report. We can limit the budget, it's in our hand, we can amend it, we can customize it, and if it's gonna do more benefit, yes, we do. I will be supporting it.
Thank you. Any other debate? If no other debate, I now put the motion to vote. All those in favor, please raise your hand. Councillor King, Councillor Reddy, and Councillor Chai. Those against? Councillor Bramall, Councillor Northworthy, and Councillor Pensabini. Oh, okay. Now today is very special. I'm going to use my casting vote to support it. I declare the motion
You
carried.
never ever miss a meeting. Not that it makes any difference.
Still my motion. Okay, 10.9, the council response to safeguard our community is raised by me, so I'm going to move this motion, and I'm asking for the seconder. Councillor Reddy. The reason I raised this one is because I was attending the Sydney, one of the round table for more than 20 councils, mayor's round table, and because currently in Sydney areas, lots of discrimination happened. So our council, got to be aware, the increase of those discrimination and maybe the violence happened. So we need more education for these matters and be aware of the things may happen in our community. Any debate for this matter?
It's a question. My question is
Through the chair.
through the chair. Yes. My question is through the casting. Have we actually had actually a lot of these incidents reported in our council area? Because I've been on council since 2017. I've never really heard of this sort of really aggressive issues in our area. So have we got figures or information on these incidents occurring in our area?
Already?
Through the chair. Many incidents they never get reported because they don't know where to report it. They don't know there is a registry where
Order, please sit down.
Please.
No, let her finish.
Point of order.
He didn't finish he didn't get an answer.
What's the point of order?
What's your point of order?
I asked a question to you through the chair to yourself, and Councillor Reddy is responding when I've asked through you. I haven't asked Councillor Reddy a question, so I want a response from the
From
chair
me.
or from the staff.
Through the chair, I wasn't responding to anybody's question. I was telling I was going to vote for the motion and why I think I'm going to vote for my motion. So I'm just speaking in support of the motion, nothing to do with any other councillor's question. Why I am voting for this motion is because there should be somewhere, people should know where to register.
Sit down.
Councillor Reddy, I'll just...
Councillor Bramall, what kind of...
Point of order is that I want an answer to my question. I've asked a question. You haven't answered it. And I think, you know, as a chair, you can probably advise Councillor Reddy to wait her turn.
Can I ask the General Manager to answer the question?
Yes, thank you.
Through you, Mr. Chair. At the moment, I'm not aware of any specific incidents that have occurred in the Strathfield local government area. Certainly, from updates that come through from the Police Area Command, there are incidents that are occurring across all of Sydney, and a lot of that reported. Fortunately, we haven't seen that level of activity in this area, and we certainly don't want to see that level of activity arise.
Thank you. Any other debate?
Chair, I was not able to finish my support. I don't need cancer to know the awareness of smoking. So this is something like that. Or you don't have cancer, so you don't need to know the disadvantages of smoking. So it's something similar example. I will be voting for it. It is good to have awareness. It doesn't take a lot. And once you have the reporting system settled, I think that's where you will get people will start coming up. I do see bits and pieces of incidences happening here and there. They never get reported because they don't know where to report, what to report, how to do it. So it's a good awareness program, and I'll be supporting it.
Thank you. Okay, and now I put the motion to the vote. All those in favor, please raise your hand. Thank you. I declare the motion carried unanimously. Which one? This one. Okay. Now, councillors, we.
10.8.
GMU4. GMU4. The sister city visit.
10:10.
Point of order. I think you've missed one, Councillor.
10.8.
Have we finished already?
Yeah, 10:10.
10.9 finished as well.
10:10, no.
No.
GMO4.
GMU, no. GMU4.
GMU4, okay. We talk about sister city visit to Gapyeong, South Korea. Can I have a mover? No. Anybody? Who is going to second it? No, I seconded it. I seconded. Councillors, would you now like to speak for your motion? Whose motion?
No. Yeah, just
To speak for the motion? Yeah.
No, I'm good.
You want to speak, Sandy? You'd like to go first?
No,
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm good.
Councillor Blackmore? No, I'm good. Okay, I'll speak on the motion.
Councillor Sabini,
In the interest of saving money.
through the chair.
Through the chair. I'm through the chair. You don't have to say through the chair to everything. We know you're the chair tonight, Ben.
Thank you.
Does everyone know that Ben's the chair? Ben is the chair. Mr. Chair, in the interest of saving money for council, I think the expenditure for the 7 people going to Korea is way too much. and I think it should be restricted to 4 people. And I think that we should reconsider how many people go, and really the interest of the community of what we bring back is more important. And to spend that amount of money, how is that an investment to our community? And I think Strathfield deserves better than spending that much money, and I'd rather spend it on a dog park than on 7 people going to Korea, because I think the people who own dogs will get more fun and help and love from an opening of a dog park than seeing their counsellors and support team spend that much money going to Korea and then coming back without anything significant or tangible that they can say is helping them. So I do think we need to relook at the trip to Gapilon, and I won't be voting for it.
Thank you. Anyone want to say for the motion?
No one for it. Oh, there you go. No one wants to go.
Okay, if no more debate, I will now put the motion to the vote. All those in favor, please raise your hand. Councillor Kim, Councillor Sandy, and Councillor Chai. And
Something, but I just stop it.
those against?
Something.
Why don't you say something?
Okay.
Those against?
Councillor Northworthy, Councillor Pensapini, and Councillor Raymond. Okay, it's so difficult for me. Now I'll use my custody vote to support the motion. Now I declare the motion carried.
Only for you.
Okay, now we go to CCS 6, the conclusion of mayoral minutes 7/24. That's on page 213. Can I have a mover? Councillor Reddy? Can I have a seconder? Councillor Kim? Councillors, would you like to speak for the motion?
I was going to
Not worthy?
Mr. Chair. Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Chair. I did want to speak to Mr. Mayor, but unfortunately he couldn't be here. Again, already on record about my feelings towards this mayoral minute. My concern is, I stood up when the minute was proposed, and I told him various things about how the special rate variation is undertaken in terms of referring to IPART and all of the considerations they make. And unfortunately, he didn't listen. I think he was actively talking while I was making that comment, or making my feelings heard. Therefore, we went through various meetings. I believe most of us, or all of us, attended at various times. Maybe 9 hours in total, on top of all the staff time to prepare for those meetings and all those conversations that were had. And we've come to basically the same conclusion, that IPART did go through all those steps, and that, yes, unfortunately, the outcome is basically the same as what we said. So I very much wish Mr. Mayor was here and would have listened many months ago, and I gave him pretty much the exact same as a consultant said to him, but he was willing to agree with the consultant, and unfortunately not willing to listen or agree with me at the time. But again, water under the bridge, money spent. Unfortunately, I guess we'll see where this lands in future.
Councillors, does anyone else wish to speak for or against the motion? Councillor Kim, you want to speak?
She was voting.
All right, I now put the motion to the vote. All those in favor, please raise your hand. Councillor Kim, Councillor Sandy Reddy, and Councillor Chai. Those against? Councillor Pensapini, Councillor Northworthy, and Councillor Bermore. Okay, now I'm going to use my casting vote as well to support the motion. Now I declare the motion carried.
Historic high score for casting votes.
Yes, 7.
Okay. All right. Now we go to CCS 7, quarterly budget review statement for the quarter ended 31st of December 2024. The page is 220. Can I have a mover for this motion? Councillor Reddy. Can I have a seconder? Councillor Kim. Councillors, would you like to speak for the motion? Councillor Northworthy.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I was wondering if I'm able to amend any of the adjustments on page 224. I guess it might be a question through the chair to the General Manager. Am I able to adjust those?
Through you, Mr. Chair, maybe you could talk to the adjustments and I can advise on what you...
So yeah, obviously there's been a significant chat already about Woolstock. I believe Councillor Kim suggested an alternative arrangement that could save a significant amount of money. So I was wondering if we could implement that focus of money into the budget amendments.
Yeah, through you, Mr. Chair, I'm sure that would be fine if you had an alternative figure that was lower.
I believe that total is 15,000 rather than 25,000. Yeah, 1.5, yeah. Not doubling it.
I see. Please give the minute for them to put it down.
No, it's just to put aside some money for it if it does.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about
We can talk about this in there as well if you want to do that.
Hudson Park, dog.
It's called Woolstock.
No wolves invited, please.
Woolstock, yeah.
There are wolves in the area.
Well, don't invite them.
Oh, no, we don't. They're not wolves, they're foxes. I've seen a fox.
I think that makes 100% of wolves.
Should we vote? That'll be a saving of $15,000.
No, okay.
They read the page about the budget amount.
Yeah, I know. One person.
Oh, okay.
Just ask them the question now.
I see.
But I'm going to write back to them and say, we're already $3 million.
Dog Park, Woodstock.
Councillor Reddy, do you accept the amendment?
I do, no, not really, no, I don't. Through the chair, I have a question to the General Manager. Once it's approved, isn't it? For my understanding. So this money is kept aside, we might use less, but it's final today. Once we approve it, this budget is we are going to spend this, we are allowed to spend this much. Is it right?
Through you, Mr. Chair. So once council approves this budget review, it sets the maximum amount that can be allocated for funding for that event. So the staff will, after this, would then be meeting with the councillors to work out exactly what the event looked like, and it may end up costing less than that. But we wouldn't be spending any more than...
Are we allowed to make amendments? I can see some amendments going on.
So I think you would need to decide whether you accept the amendment that Councillor Nosworthy has put to the floor. If you don't accept that, then it would need to be that amendment would need to be flagged as a foreshadowed motion by councillor Nosworthy.
So when do I put my,
You need to decide if you accept it.
I don't accept the current amendment, but I would like to make an amendment by myself.
You and councillor Kim can make that amendment.
So I would amend it because we are spending 25K. We are supposed to spend 25K for 4 hours event with people coming with the dog and the owners. I rather decrease it to probably $1,000 and give them only, give all the dogs who come in maybe a toy, rather than its owners getting a coffee and an ice cream and making a big event. It's like more for the people. If we count in the last, I've been seeing in the last 2 years, all the events, minor events, there's hardly any people. Each person costs, if we give them $100 bill, that will be cheaper. So this 25K is, I don't think it's gonna be feasible. Rather than that, we limit ourselves to $500 or $1,000 and buy dog toys and give every single puppy who comes in. That's it. Nothing for the owners, nothing for the show of people like us. Councillors don't need any chairs, any marquees or any coffees or ice creams. It's our duty to be there, and we will be there happy to come with our own water bottles. $1,000 is what I propose.
To 1,000.
1,000, one for budget.
500 or 1,000? 1,000.
50,000.
1,000.
You need to check that amendment.
Okay.
Just ask councillor Kim.
Councillor King, do you accept the amendment?
You don't have to.
Yes or no?
I want to stick to this one.
Or you want to speak?
Stick to this one.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Just check.
She wants to stick to that.
Stick to the 25,000.
25,000.
Do you want to stick to the 25,000 or it's 1,000?
I already proposed it to General Manager. I haven't had any answer. Because doing to the good for the resident is good, I think. But not because of a dog only, because many residents coming. We have spent for the resident. We go, Gapion, we spend $55,000 more. Well, why not we spend 25,000 for the resident here? That's what I'm thinking.
So what's your decision?
To stick on this original.
Original.
How do we foreshadow?
Okay, so
She doesn't accept the amendment.
that's right.
Okay.
So.
To this one, if you want.
Oh, it's suggested.
Councillor, still the same.
Yeah,
Oh, we're still the same. Oh,
yeah, Councillor Kim, that was my attempt to match the budget to your proposal.
You don't go to accept my proposal?
Yeah, that's what I was trying
Can I talk to them then?
That's one.
What do you talk?
Just wait.
I'm not allowed in. The dog park.
Councillor Reddy's proposing $1,000 for the
Dog park opening.
Is that half the stuff, member?
I hope they don't cost that.
You shouldn't even have anything if you're going to spend 1,000. Why have anything?
Let the puppies have the dog toys. It's their part.
Can I ask
They don't get the part.
Hello, excuse me, order. Can I ask General Manager to respond it?
Okay, so councillor Nosworthy has proposed an amendment for the budget to be reduced to 15,000. That hasn't been accepted. Councillor Nosworthy needs to decide whether he wants that to be a foreshadowed motion or whether he wants that to be considered as an alternate motion. If it's an alternate motion, council needs to then vote on the alternate motion first and decide if it's going to accept that. If that gets accepted, that then becomes the motion. Okay? If that falls over, then councillor Reddy has another alternate motion, which is for it to become a $1,000 budget. Same process. If that gets accepted, that then becomes the motion. So So we now need to go back to councillor Nosworthy to clarify if it's a foreshadowed motion or whether he's moving it as an alternate motion for the budget to be 15,000.
An alternate motion, please.
Can I have alternate motion too?
We've got to do his alternate first.
So, councillor Kim, your motion is the motion that's on the floor at the moment, which is to retain the budget as it is. Is that correct?
Because.
No, I just want to confirm process. So just for the chair. Okay, so we need to deal with the alternate motion and ask if there's a seconder to that alternate motion.
So can I have the seconder for the amendment motion?
Alternate motion.
Alternative motion. Councillor Sabini? Okay.
Any discussion?
Any discussion for this alternative motion? Councillor.
Look, as you would have seen from my previous motion, I believe that it should actually be 0, so I will not be supporting it.
Any further discussion?
We'll be voting for 15K.
15, yeah, for not, Councillor Nosworthy's motion, yeah. Alternative
motion.
Are we going to vote for
So
this?
now you need to put the alternate motion. You need to get them to vote on this.
So now I put the alternative motion for debate,
No.
for vote, yeah. Okay, now I put the alternative motion for vote. All those in favor, please, put your hand up. Councillor Nosworthy and Councillor Pensabini, against? Councillor Bramore, Councillor King, Councillor Reddy, and Councillor Chai. I declare the motion lost.
Now, you have another alternate motion from council.
Oh, okay. All right. Now we have another alternative motion from Councillor Reddy.
Seconder.
And I need a seconder for the motion. Oh, I can second it. Okay. Any discussion for this alternative motion? If no other debate, I will, put the motion to the vote. All those in favor, please raise your hand. Councillor Bramore, Councillor Sandy Reddy, and Councillor Chai. And those against? Councillor Pensabini and Councillor Nosworthy and Councillor Kim. And okay, I will use my casting vote to support this motion, this alternative motion. Now I declare.
Now the motion.
Now
That becomes the motion.
now this alternative motion become the motion. This one, is it?
Yeah, so now we need to vote on it again.
Okay, now the alternative motion becomes the motion. Now we are going to vote for this motion. Okay, thank you. For all those in favor, please raise your hand. Councillor Bramore, Councillor Reddy, and Councillor Chai. And against? Councillor Pensabini, Councillor Nosworthy, and Councillor Kim. Okay, now I use my casting vote to support this motion.
That was me. I only used my casting vote once.
Now I declare the motion is carried.
I would check, but I reckon it's a record.
I reckon it's a record.
It's a simple maths. We've got even numbers.
This one is difficult.
You get a plaque that says,
All right.
Okay. Now we go to CCS 10, the National General Assembly Conference delegates and the motions. I need a mover, Councillor Reddy, and Councillor Pensabini as seconded. Any?
We need to determine the voting delegate.
Oh, okay. I think we need to determine the voting delegate for the assembly. There's only one delegate as a voting delegate.
I would like to nominate our Mayor J.P. Bellari
Thank you.
Or his delegate?
for delegate,
Voting delegate.
Yeah, or his delegate.
You're allowed to vote.
or his delegate.
Should we have an alternate?
I think Councillor,
Yeah. It's gonna be,
through the chair, I think Councillor Reddy just identified that it would be the mayor or the mayor's delegate.
Oh, okay.
Someone else want it? We got 3 votes here.
Three.
Just one of those ones want it.
Coming in June.
Esther, you want it? We got 3 votes.
Is there any discussion?
Okay, so, Mayor, John Paul Bellady as voting delegates or the mayor's delegates.
In the interest of.
Okay, I now put the motion to the vote. All those in favor, please raise your
Can we
hand.
talk about it?
Are you going to,
I think Councillor Pensby had asked
Oh.
to speak on it.
Yeah.
Councillor, you want to speak for that?
Yes, I do. In the interests of saving money for the council, I suggest we only send 2 people to the Canberra conference. Because last year, when I was the delegate and I had to be the person on the voting floor, everyone came down to Canberra and I didn't see one person that went to one lecture. And I'm just thinking, if you're going to go to Canberra and if you're going to go down to listen to the meeting, you should attend every day. And that wasn't happening in Canberra last year, and it didn't happen the year before. And I think we should be saving money by sending councillors down there. It's a bit of a waste of money, and I think we should just delegate just 2, the mayor and his delegate that goes to Canberra for the meeting. Thank you.
Is that an amendment or?
Are you going to make this?
no, I don't accept it.
I won't be voting for it, that's what, no, it's not an amendment.
We can
I won't be
vote
voting
for
for it.
You need to ask if the
I'm allowed to do that.
Still speaking against that.
that is an alternate motion.
With me, Councillor? Are you going to make it as an alternative motion?
No, I'm just saying I won't be voting for it.
Oh, okay. Councillor Ray?
I would like to speak for the motion. It gives an opportunity for the newly elected councillors to come and see and have the feel. And it's not a school that you punch in at 8:30 and you leave at 3:15. It's not a school. It depends what interests you. There are a lot of topics which interest you. There are a lot of topics which will go over your head as well. So you might come down, grab a cup of coffee, that's fine. We are not kids, we don't need to be micromanaged. People can make sensible decisions, and I don't have a right to stop anybody from learning or experiencing. So I will be supporting it, and I would like all the councillors to come and see and learn.
Thank you. Any other debates? If not, I now put the motion to the vote. All those in favor, please raise your hand.
Not again.
Councillor Kim, Councillor Reddy, and Councillor Chai. And those against? Councillor Bradmore, Councillor Northworthy, and Councillor Pensabini. Okay, now I use my casting vote to support this
I was going to say that in his
motion. Declared carried. Okay.
PE3.
Go. I'm not going now.
Okay, now,
People go to just get freebies.
order, it's not your chatting time.
It's okay.
Now we go to PE3, the draft planning proposal, additional and diverse housing planning proposal implementation of medium density housing strategies. That was in page 362. Can I have a mover for that? It's Councillor Bramall, seconded by Councillor Reddy. Councillor, would you like to speak for the motion?
I'm going to just speak quickly on what's been presented here, and it's a very, very extensive, and I've been through it thoroughly. And just to thank our planning staff on the work that they've done since late last year. There was an original proposal that went to council in August, which would have chopped up the whole council area into 560 square metre lots, and it would have ruined the fabric of Strathfield that I grew up in and that I love. This proposal, and just to have it on record and have a bit of clarity for to make it more simplified for any residents who are watching, basically council has taken the steps, state government is forcing council to allow duplexes, dual occupancies and manor homes and other sorts of multi-dwelling housing across our LGA on all our residential areas. Council's taken the steps to protect quite a large chunk of our community by having a large minimum lot size for these subdivisions, making it probably a little bit harder for those things to happen and for those planning controls which aren't necessarily suitable for the character of these big, large homes that we love and admire in Strathfield and our heritage areas as well. So basically there'll be a big, large lot size in the mapped sort of area which we're going to put forward to planning. Hopefully they'll agree with us and work with us on this. That will have an 800 metre minimum lot size, and then the surrounding outskirts of the area will be a 560 square metre lot size. It's a lot more than what was recently announced by the government just on Friday, the mid-rise housing policy, which has been passed, and we're told that it's getting pushed through and forced onto council on the 28th of February. That's going to allow 12 metre frontage duplexes on a 450 square metre lot within walking distance to Homebush Station and Flemington Station. Council's taken this step and this extensive planning work to protect our community and to make sure that those, that's the one report, to make sure that those areas are protected and don't have the same planning controls forced on them which the state government has imposed and will come into effect on the 28th of Feb. Just to simplify it more, these planning controls, we're putting forward the minimum lot sizes, again to protect it, because 1st of July, the duplex, allowing duplexes in our residential areas will be forced upon council. So we've taken to the front foot and we are trying to protect our residents, but also meeting the demands of the community, which is some diverse housing, especially for a lot of our elderly and young families who want to stay in the area or stay close to parents. So just a really big thank you to our planning department. They have done massive amounts of work on this in the last few months, and just the other councillors that supported them to get this work done. And I think I've pretty much covered what we're doing there, but I think if there was any other comments through the chair that the planning staff or the GM wanted to make about this, I think that would be a good outcome. But no.
Thank you. Any other debates?
Sorry, just quickly, Mr. Chair. It was identified to me by a very well-read resident that potentially there is a discrepancy between the original state government plan and the current proposed Strathfield plan in terms of large, what are referred to as manor houses. So under the Strathfield Council plan, my understanding is that they can be subdivided into, internal flats, maybe 4 flats, 2 on the bottom, 2 on the top. And that isn't the case in the state government instrument initially. So it might just be something to consider whether or not that is something we want to support or potentially amend in the future in the upcoming Strathfield medium density plan.
Thank you. Any other debates? If not, I now put the motion to the vote. All those in favor, please raise your hand. Oh, this one is easy. Unanimously. Thank you.
So then we go to, yeah.
Okay, EO3, feasibility of establishment a dog off-leash area near Long Street,
What's the page number?
page 748. Actually, this one was my motion in last year's last meeting. But anyway, I will put move the motion. Who is the seconder? Councillor Reddy. Any debate on this motion?
Yes. Just a question, through the chair. Has there been a need identified for this dog off-leash area near Long Street? Or was this just a resident request, or where did this idea come from?
Pass that one over to Karen.
Can I have the director?
Through the chair, we investigated this in response to the notice of motion. I do note that we're currently in the process of preparing a recreation and wellness strategy, which will look at things such as passive recreation and dog off-leash areas, and that will identify if there are needs for additional dog off-leash areas.
Any other debate for this motion? If not, I put this motion to the vote. All those in favor, please raise your hand.
No fence, that's the fence.
Councillor,
It's a no-fence dog park.
It's a no-fence dog park.
workshop?
Is it through the chair to the general manager? So there's gonna be a report coming back to us?
No.
Because
Is
we
this a
already
report?
had a report in the last workshop.
Yeah.
So once we approve today, once we find the money, is it gonna go ahead, or we will have a chance to rethink again?
Through you, Mr. Chair. So once council approves this, then as part of preparing next year's budget, we would be looking to see whether we could fund the establishment of a off-leash dog park through the budget process. That would be the last time that you would get to deal with it as part of finalising a budget for future years.
Can I just ask a supplementary question through the chair? We had a briefing on this, and one of the big concerns was the fact that the dog leash park was not going to be fenced off, and it's not on our land; it's on Sydney Water land. Is that correct? That the proposal's for no fencing on the dog park?
Through the chair, that's correct. It's proposed not to fence the dog off-leash area.
all right. I now
Where's
put.
the report? It's there.
Okay, I now put the motion to the vote. All those in favor, please raise your hand. Okay, Councillor Chai. All those against?
Casting vote.
Sorry. Okay, Councillor Bremo, Councillor Northworthy, and Councillor Pensabini, and Councillor Kim, and Councillor Reddy. I declare this motion lost. That's the only one tonight. Okay, now we are going to EO4, draft plaques, memorials, and the status policy on page 754.
Who pulled this one? You pull it?
Can I have the mover for this motion? Councillor Pensabini, and seconded by Councillor Reddy. Councillors, would you like to speak for this motion?
Yes, I would like to say, I don't know what this motion's about. We have plaques for a reason that are in Strathfield. I don't think there are many, there are a few that could come away and that are not necessary, but I don't think we should be spending council's time in the interest of saving money by pulling out plaques that have been there just for the sake of pulling them out. I think not many people, I haven't had one person in the 7 years that I've been on council ever complain to me about a plaque. So I really do think this should be dead in the water and we should just not do anything about it. Thank you.
Have a policy for the future.
Okay, can I ask General Manager to respond it?
It's up to the council.
Councillor?
Through you, Mr. Chair, just to address some of that, so the recommendation isn't proposing to take any plaques out. What it's doing is it's responding to the notice of motion that was received, and it's providing the inventory of plaques that are located throughout the local government area. But it's also establishing a policy so that there's some consistency in the placement of plaques in the future. So it's not retrospectively taking any plaques out. It's actually getting that consistency around the naming, the use of the logo, so using the crest instead of the branded logo. And I don't know if you've noticed that some of the older plaques have the officers' names on them. It's forming a position that is no longer part of the protocol going forward, because
Okay, so
probably not
it's about
considered
the
appropriate
policy rather than the action.
the recommendation is more about establishing a policy.
Yeah.
Thank you. Any other debate for this motion? If not, I now put the motion to the vote. All those in favor, please raise your hand. I declare this motion carried unanimously. All right, now we are going to EO5, automated external defibrillators in Strathfield. Can I have the mover? Councillor Blackmore, and seconded by Councillor Reddy. Councillors, would you like now to speak for the motion?
I'd like to add an amendment to that. I'll just talk quickly, have a speak. Yeah, the amendment basically, report received and noted, that do we need to have a briefing if we have an information session or report, or for the community information for AED? If you ever want to do anything. Yeah, okay. Yeah. So that just a briefing be presented to council. On Heart of the Nation. Heart
of the nation.
Heart, yeah. Yeah. Hosting a community information session within Strathfield LGA. Okay. The briefing also look at council funding in external AED, in each of our town centres. I just want to specify that basically Stratford Town Centre, Homebush Village Shops and Homebush West Town Centre. Just quickly on this, councillors and staff were fortunate today to have Greg Page come and speak to us about these AED defibrillators and about the necessity for having these available in the community and how they can actually save lives. Council's already has registered our AEDs, which are internally located in our buildings, with the Heart of the Nation app. So I just think there is something else we can do. Obviously, them hosting a community information session will make it good for our residents to actually understand about defibrillators and AEDs. And obviously, you know, there's potentials there which they have talked about, which I'm sure they will bring in the information session about community funding, say streets or a sporting group, etc., of funding and raising money for AEDs, either at sporting events or in streets or in sporting facilities. So I think it'd be good to get a briefing on that, and it'll be good to do something in this sector.
And Strathfield South?
Can I check with Councillor Reddy? Are you happy with the amendment?
I am, but I would like to speak as well.
Yeah, please.
To bring the AED equipment from inside the building to outside, it's costing $1,000 per unit, whereas the new unit would cost $2,000 to $2,500.
2,700.
The report says 2,000 to 2,500 per unit. I guess if there is any unit which is not really good enough or appropriate or not updated, we could simply bring in all the new units, because the older ones are already costing us $1,000. So if we buy a newer one, it's $2,000, but it's a brand new one, and a 4 years battery comes with it. So
Is that a 0.3 edition or
yeah.
me? That's where do you want it? Like, what do you...
And 3.
Do you want specific locations, or do you want...
No, rather than moving from inside to outside, replaced by new equipment. That's what I wanted. If someone can put it in words.
So, Councillor, so rather than replacing the outside ones,
No,
the
the inside ones, it's costing $1,000
the
to...
inside ones outside.
Yeah, it's costing $1,000. Instead of doing that, we can maybe bring a new one and put it outside.
We might need to talk through the chair and ask the general manager if that's possible to move the inside ones outside.
No, that's not what, no. Sorry.
Sorry.
So General Manager to respond.
So it might be that as part of the briefing to council, consideration be given to the logistics of whether existing ones could be relocated outside or whether new ones are purchased to be placed outside.
Well, that's not what you're saying, yeah?
Instead
That's
of...
not what you're saying.
No.
You're saying don't move it.
If we are moving the existing ones to outside, it's going to cost us $1,000. So I rather prefer having new ones being put in rather instead of spending. Outside, yes. That's what they suggested to
Sorry,
them.
Councillor Reddy, if I can just... Council's report is proposing to do nothing. It's not proposed. What it's saying is that the cost is expensive to move them from inside to outside. So I think rather than this sort of thing, I think you should maybe say new AED units, external AED units, and maybe specified locations or something like that.
Yeah.
Did you know the locations or?
New AEDs,
Maybe library.
You want it in the school, you want it in the schools, on the school, like provide to the school external, or?
Libraries,
In the
My library.
no, outside. It's in the ground
You
floor.
have it.
So I think,
757.
Say that it's good to have one every 200 metres.
The library one is inside the building.
Why can't we move it outside?
Costs $1,000.
That costs,
Do we know that?
that's what, it costs $1,000 to bring it out. Rather than that,
but I think if,
Councillor Reddy's saying, yeah.
but councillor, sorry, I know we're having whatever. The thing is, if there's one in the library, but then if you put one in Homebush Village,
That's
if you put one in the village, you could even put on the public school right there. And that's going to be accessible within 200 metres
24/7.
outside. But when we
Outside the fence.
Yeah, like we saw.
school fence is better.
I think we start off with the town centres maybe, and then we look
Councillor De Mind might be on the school thing, Andy.
at schools maybe later. Yeah.
Hi, Councillor Sandy. Ready? Do you
What about nursing home?
get the scripts?
They might already have them.
What you mean?
Yeah, I think that covers the Sandy, that covers it.
That's true. They probably already have them, like schools often have, well, sometimes have them internally.
Yeah, so we'll get a briefing on it.
Outside locations here, that's quite new because we are already asking new ones to be outside.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, any other debates? If not, I'll now put the motion to the vote. All those in favor, please raise your hand.
Number 3?
No, all of, yes. Okay, I declare the motion carried unanimously.
It's out.
Now we're going to
The last one, the confidential one.
Confidential one?
so
Oh.
That's all done. No, we decided we don't.
so there's no questions on that. Whether to deal with that.
Okay,
I'm going to tell my husband to be
we'll just say that.
No.
There have been no question with notice. So, councillors, does anyone have a matter of urgency that they wish to bring before the meeting finished?
It's not finished. We're going into confidential.
Yeah, we'll be doing that
No.
after.
If not,
Okay, so then come to you.
councillors, so now we have one item on the agenda marked as confidential matter that calls for it to be considered in the closed section. Okay, this item is E08, Land and Property Strategy. In accordance with the section 10A 4 of the Local Government Act and the Council's Code of Meeting Practice, I invite members of public to make representations as to whether or not this part of the meeting should be closed to the public to consider the confidential items. There being no representations, I move that the council close the meeting.
Supposed to know everything that happens in council.
A seconder? Thank you.
Ben moved
I've been
Yeah, seconded. Thank you.
and put it to a vote. We'll put it to a vote. You need to put that to a vote.
Okay, vote.
You've got a vote on going to closed session.
Oh, okay. So I put this motion to for vote.
Three-bedroom units, what happened?
Ask them to.
Passed.
So you just agreed without putting, okay. So do we go or don't we?
Yeah, I think
You will be asked to leave.
You'll be asked to.
Closing or not? To a vote.
Okay. And now put the motion.
Well, I'd like to know everything, but obviously, if it's got to be confidential.
Yeah,
The meeting, that the chair is speaking, and no one else is to speak.
Guys, to go into conference.
Well, no one else is to
We
speak.
have to vote to go
Tell
to.
them, and no one else is to be speaking.
Oh, okay.
Have you put the?
Okay, I now put the motion to the vote. All those in favor, please raise your hand. I declare the motion carried unanimously.
Where are you going?
Now to ask everyone to leave, ask the press and public to leave the chamber.
Okay, now I ask the press and the public to leave the chamber before we consider the items. Thank you.